Saludos estudiantes de octavo grado. El día de hoy vamos a ver lo que es la lesson 12.5, okay? That is talking about samples and surveys, okay? Muestras y encuestas. That is really important that you understand so many concepts that are going to help us to develop, in this case, that lesson. And first, what I'm going to show you is that we are going to have two kinds of data. Data can be quantitative and data that can be qualitative, okay? What is the difference between the data that is quantitative and qualitative, okay? In this case, the data that is quantitative is data that you can measure in quantities, and also you can describe in a way that is going to be numerical, okay? Such we can say that it's like a test score of H's, okay? But also you are going to have qualitative, in this case, data. That is data that can be expressed using words or numbers, or such a number that can be used like a zip codes, okay? But normally, quantitative is something that you can measure, that you are going to use numbers, and qualitative is something that you need to describe. That also you can use number, but not doing a counting, just describing something, okay? In this case, I'm going to do the first problem, problem number one. Let's say classifying data, okay? In this case, that we need to classify data, they say if each data set quantity, each data set is quantitative or qualitative. It's the one that we need to describe, okay? We are going to do the first one. If you read the first one, that is favorite movies. Favorite movies, in this case, is something that you cannot measure quantitative, because they are talking about qualitative information, because it's the one that you prefer. It's not counting how many movies, is just what movies you prefer. That means that that information is qualitative, okay? It's really easy to understand. Okay, but what happened with the second one? Say number of students in different schools to take Spanish, okay? In this case, the number of students is data that you can count numerically. That means that that information, because you are going to have a number of students, a specific number of students, is going to be quantitative, okay? Because you can measure. I'm going to put it here. Quantitative. Okay? It's really easy to understand. And football jersey numbers, okay? Even you know that you have numbers in this case, but you cannot measure the number because it's just a number that is on the jersey. That means that the information that you're going to have in this case is qualitative, because it's the number that is going to represent one jersey, but it's not counting numbers. It's just the number that represent a qualitative, okay? Okay, that's really easy. I'm going to invite you to study in your MATBook, because you are going to need to know very well the concept to solve all the problems that is in that lesson, okay? We are going to do the next example. In the example number 2, we are going to do something like that is identifying type of data, okay? But something that is really important is that you need to understand that you are going to have, in this case, univariate data and bivariate data. Univariate data means that you are going to have a set of data that use just one variable, okay? It's really important. And bivariate data is a data that is going to use two variables, okay? And it's really easy to solve it. Just you need to identify if you are going to have to use one variable or two variables in the data information that you already have. In the problem number 2, we need to identify the data, the type of data, okay? Each data, in this case, set is univariate or bivariate, okay? It's really easy. The first one, the atomic weight of the elements in the periodic table. Because the atomic weight of the periodic table is just talking about one element, one specific element, that data means that it's univariate. Because it's just talking about one element, okay? The atomic weight is gonna be univariate, okay? It's really easy to understand, okay? And in the second one, if you see, we are talking about the age, length, and volumes of cubes. That ends is indicating that I have one here, one thing here, and another one here, that is volumes. I'm talking about age, length, and also I'm talking about the volumes. That means that I'm talking about two variables, like this one, two variables. That means that my information in this case is going to be bivariate, okay? And that's really easy to solve it and understand if you know and know the concept. I'm going to encourage you to do it, okay? We're going to do the next example. In the problem number 3, we need to do something that is choosing a sample, okay? Escogiendo una muestra. In this case, you just need to know that we can have different sampling methods, okay? In this case, for example, random is when you are going to select every member of a population and everyone can be part of the survey or the encuesta, okay? Also, you can use a systematic sample. Then in each systematic sample, you need to select a n number at random, and then you need to survey every n number person. It means that you are going to have a system that you need to follow, okay? And stratify is really easy. It's just that you need to divide all your population that you want to survive in groups, in this case, okay? It's really easy. We are going to do that example number 3, that is choosing example, okay? I'm going to read for you the information that you already have that is basically the same that we have here, okay? In this case, you want to find out how many DVDs students at your school rent in a month. It's really important. DVDs that student rents in a month in your school, okay? But then say, you interview every 10 teenager you see at a mall, okay? What sample method are you using? Is the first question that we are going to answer here. And the second one is this a good sample? Is this a good example? Primero, ¿qué método estoy utilizando? And it is a good example, es una buena muestra la que estoy escogiendo. First, in this case, because you are going to do a interview for every 10 teenager, that means that you are using a method. That means that is systematic, because you are not selecting everyone, it's not random, because you are using a method. You are interviewing every 10 teenager, select a number, and then in this case is 10, and random, you use the sample, in this case the survey, okay? That means that the method that you are using right now is a systematic, okay? That's really easy. Just remember, you need to know the concept, study the concept, because in this case you are going to analyze the information and you need to answer the questions using your analyze, okay? The second question is this a good example? Is a good sample? Yes or not? In this case, it's not good sample. Why? Because you are trying to use every 10 teenager, but it's in a mall. It's not the people of your school. Maybe you can have someone at your school, but it's not all the people from your school, because in the mall you are going to have people from every place, every school. It's going to be different. Is this a good sample? No, it's not a good sample, okay? Because you are interviewing so many people that maybe is not from your school, okay? Now we are going to do the example number 4. In the example number 4, we are going to use a new concept. We are going to introduce the concept of bias, okay? What means bias? That's really interesting, because a survey question has bias when it contains assumptions that may or may not be true. Bias can influence, it's really important in this, in the opinion, and can make one answer seem better than another, okay? In this case, we have the example number 4 that say determining bias in a survey question, okay? And the example number 4 say, in this case, that you have a reporter that wants to find out what kinds of movies are most popular with local residents. And that reporter asks, and that's the question that he made. Do you prefer exciting action movies or boring documentaries? And we need to answer that. It is a question biased. Of course that is a question biased. Why? I'm going to say that yes first, and we need to explain what. It's a biased question because you are using that word, exciting, action movies, and also you are using boring documentaries. And you are going to assume, or try to assume to the people, that the exciting action movies are better than the boring documentaries. That means that it's a biased question. And you need to be careful with that, because maybe you can be answer questions that you know that are biased. It's really easy to understand. Now we are going to do the last example of this lesson. In the last example of this lesson, we are going to determine if we have a bias in a sample, okay? You already know that bias is when you are trying to suggesting something or you are trying to find something that you want to have, okay? In this case, example number 5 say, you want to determine what percent of teenage of 14 to 18 watch wrestling on TV. At a high school wrestling match, you ask every third teenager whether he or she watched wrestling on TV, okay? How might this cause bias in the result of your survey or score that is caused bias? Why? Because the sample that you chosen is not representative of the population. Why? Because the people who attended to a high school match, in this case of wrestling, maybe they will like to be or they would like to see more wrestling on TV. That means there is a bias sample also, because you are selecting some people that they score that they would like to see wrestling on TV. It's like if you go to a soccer stadium and you ask to the people that is in the soccer stadium if they like to see soccer football on the TV or score that they would like to see, okay? That means that you can have also bias in the sample, okay? I hope that all this information is enough for do the lesson and try to study very well and solve all the exercises that you need to do. God bless you guys.